Hi everyone, welcome back to SGR Chemistry. Today we are discussing Einstein's theory of heat capacity. Einstein's theory of heat capacity. We know what is heat capacity and what is the relation with the partition function. All those things are already discussed in our previous videos. And the basic assumptions made in this theory are: first one, a crystalline solid with n particles or n atoms. A crystalline solid with n atoms can be considered as 3n harmonic oscillators. 3n harmonic oscillators. All these are vibrating with the same frequency, vibrating independently. With the same frequency nu. So these harmonic oscillators are vibrating with the frequencies nu, and their vibration is independent to each other. So one atom vibrates independently, and the next atom also vibrates independently with the frequency nu. And the second assumption: these oscillators are quantum oscillators. Quantum oscillators means they are having discrete energy. All the oscillators are having discrete energy. So they are quantum oscillators. Right? Then the third one, these oscillators, the vibration of the oscillators obey Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics distribution. They obey Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. That means they are distinguishable. Each atom in a crystalline solid are distinguishable. Okay? So they obey Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics. Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. For the derivation of heat capacity, Cv, heat capacity at a constant volume, or we can say specific heat capacity, and then use the average energy epsilon bar. It's the average energy of a solid derived by Max Planck using quantum mechanics, quantum theory. So this average energy derived by Planck, which is equal to h nu divided by e raised to h nu by kT minus 1. That is the equation for average energy. And here the oscillators are considered as, or the atoms are considered as oscillators with 3n degrees of freedom. So we can have, that is, they are vibrating in three directions, x, y and z. 3n degrees of freedom, they are vibrating in three directions, x, y and z. So the average energy of an atom in a crystalline solid can be 3 epsilon bar. Right? 3 epsilon bar. Okay, 3 epsilon bar. And for 1 mole of atoms, the total energy E, or you can put it as U, our internal energy, which is equal to, E is equal to 3, that is Avogadro number into 3 epsilon bar. The total energy of, average energy of one atom into Avogadro number. That is E is equal to Na into 3 h nu divided by e raised to h nu by kT minus 1. That is the energy of 1 mole of, total energy of 1 mole of atoms in a crystalline solid, in which each atom is considered as an harmonic oscillator with 3n degrees of freedom. Okay, so E is equal to Na into 3 h nu by e raised to h nu by kT. And we know CV. What is CV? CV is equal to del U or del E by del T at a constant volume. Du by del U by del T. Del U. Or you can write it as del U by del T. Here U is considered our total energy. Our total energy is the internal energy itself. So we are substituting the value of E in this equation. So we get del over del T of 3 Na h nu divided by e raised to h nu by kT minus 1. Right? H Planck's constant nu with a constant frequency. The oscillators are vibrating with the same frequency, so we can take this h nu Na out. So we get CV is equal to 3 Na, where Na is Avogadro's number. Na is Avogadro's number. Na Avogadro number. So 3 Na into h nu del over del T of e raised 1 by e raised to h nu by kT minus 1. Okay. So we can take the denominator, that is e raised to h nu by kT minus 1 to numerator. So we get CV is equal to 3 Na h nu del over del T e raised to h nu by kT minus 1 all raised to minus 1. When it is coming up, it becomes to the power minus 1. Then the differential of del by del T e raised to h nu by kT minus 1 all raised to minus 1. That is CV is equal to 3 Na h nu del over del T e raised to h nu by kT minus 1 all raised to minus 1. That is minus 1 into e raised to h nu by kT minus 1 all raised to minus 2. Right? Minus 1 all raised to minus 2. Right? And the integral of this one, that is e raised to h nu by kT minus 1, which is equal to e raised to h nu by kT itself, into the differential of h nu by kT. Differential of h nu by kT. H nu by k is constant. H nu by k is constant, and differential of 1 by kT is minus 1 by t square. So we can have minus h nu by k t square. Okay, h nu by k into minus 1 by t square. So this minus into minus, become plus. So our equation become 3na. This h nu and h nu, that is h square mu square by kt square. Okay. Then e raised to h nu by kt divided by e raised to divided by h nu by kt minus 1 whole square. This is coming to the denominator and become plus 2. The power become positive 2. Okay. This is our differential. Okay. Alright. Then we are multiplying k and dividing by k. So it becomes k square. K into h square mu square by k square t square. That is Cv is equal to 3na into k. K is Boltzmann constant we know. Into h nu by kt whole square. H square mu square by k square t square. Make it k square, we multiply it by k and divide by k. Into e raised to h nu by kt by e raised to h nu by kt minus 1 whole square. This equation. Right? Okay. But k into na, Avogadro number into Boltzmann constant which is equal to r. So Cv is equal to 3r into h nu by kt whole square e raised to h nu by kt divided by e raised to h nu by kt minus 1 whole square. And we know what is h nu by k. Put h nu by k is equal to theta e. Theta, you are very familiar with this theta, characteristic rotational temperature, characteristic vibration temperature, so on. So the same quantity h nu by k. In the case of rotational motion and vibrational motion, we substitute that value. Here again h nu by k, which is equal to theta e and is known as characteristic Einstein temperature. Characteristic Einstein temperature. Characteristic Einstein temperature, that is theta e. So we are substituting this by theta e by t. Okay. So our equation become, we get Cv is equal to 3r into theta e by t whole square into e raised to theta e by t divided by e raised to theta e by t minus 1 whole square. Okay, that is the famous equation by Albert Einstein for heat capacity of a crystalline solid. Then two cases are. Case 1, high temperature. High temperature. High temperature. At high temperature, this T temperature is very much higher than theta E. Very much higher than theta E. So we can expand this equation. That is, this equation e raised to theta e by t minus 1 equal to that term, this exponential term, which is equal to 1 plus theta e by t plus minus 1 up to minus 1. As the value of temperature increases, the second term onwards become very small value and reaches minus 1. Okay. So plus 1 and minus 1 cancel, and we are neglecting the higher values because as the temperature increases, that values become negligible. So approaches 0, small and small and small. So we can say e raised to theta e by t minus 1 equal to theta e by t itself. Okay, at a very high temperature. So our equation, we are substituting this value in our CV equation. CV is equal to 3R into theta e by t whole square into e raised to theta e by t divided by e raised to theta e by t minus 1 is equal to theta e by t. So e raised to theta e by t minus 1 whole square, that was our equation. This is our equation, so we are replacing this e raised to theta e by t by theta e by t, so it becomes theta e by t whole square, right? At high temperature. At high temperature. High temperature. Then this and this term cancel each other, and as the value of t increases, this theta e by t become smaller and smaller and smaller. So we can say approaches 0, so which is equal to 1. So e raised to theta e by t can be taken as 1. This is 1 and this is cancel each other. So CV is equal to 3R at high temperature. At high temperature. So specific heat capacity of a crystalline solid is equal to 3R at high temperature according to Einstein. This is the same, or actually it is the proof of Dulong-Petit's law. You know Dulong-Petit's law, right? The heat capacity of a crystalline solid is equal to 6 calorie. 6 calorie. And in calorie, the value of R is 2 calorie. So 3 into 2, 6 calorie. The same Dulong-Petit's law. Okay. So it is actually as a proof of Dulong-Petit's law. That is answer given in this derivation. CV is equal to 3R at high temperature. Then case 2. As case 2, low temperature. That is, T is very much less than theta E. Right? Our equation is CV is equal to 3R into theta E by T whole square into e raised to theta E by T divided by e raised to theta E by T minus 1 whole square. Right? At very low temperature, e raised to theta E by T minus 1, which is equal to, that is, T is very small, very small compared to theta E. So this quantity is very high. This quantity is very high compared to 1. Right? This quantity e raised to theta E by T is very much higher than 1. So 1 is negligible. So it becomes e raised to theta E by T itself. Right? E raised to theta E by T is equal to e raised minus 1 equal to e raised to theta E by T itself at low temperature. So the equation becomes C is equal to 3R into theta E by T whole square into e raised to theta E by T by e raised to theta E by T whole square. This is equal to e raised to theta E by T, so this square will become this square. So 1 square and e raised to theta E by T cancel each other. Our equation becomes CV is equal to 3R into theta E by T whole square into e raised to minus theta E by T. 1 e raised to theta E by T cancels each other, and the remaining e raised to theta E by T comes to numerator and become e raised to minus theta E by T. That means CV decreases exponentially at low temperature. This equation is at low temperature. So CV decreases exponentially at low temperature. But experiments show that this decrease is much smaller than the according to the equation given by the equation. So the decrease in CV here is exponential, but the actual experimental value shows that it is not as much decrease is observed in experimental condition as given by the equation. The decrease is much slower than predicted by the equation. Okay, and that contradiction is due to the oversimplification that all the atoms are vibrating with the same frequency. So that is an oversimplification. So even in our solid state, each oscillators undergo coupling. They couple. So the decrease is not as much given by the equation C, equation of this CV. So the decrease is much slower. Okay, so two equations, that is two cases we discussed. This theory of Einstein's theory of heat capacity. Some modification should be required. So we will discuss that in our next lecture. Thank you for watching.